Hello, I'm joined again by Linda from She Knows for the health and safety. Linda, just want to have a chat with you quickly now about what the requirements are if I'm doing work in the construction industry. What kind of complications does that bring up as opposed to maybe an office environment?
Well, once a business has got 5 or more employees, the enforcing authorities are expecting you to document certain things. There'll be staff inductions, it'll be a site induction, to understand the rules of the site as well as the rules of your business. We want to keep people safe. We don't want to send them home in different pieces. We don't want them to have blood leaking out of them and the wife ringing up and saying, what have you done to my husband?
Yeah.
Obviously, the construction industry is so much more dangerous. You can fall from a building, you can fall down a hole, you can get squashed by a dumper truck.
So you would give training for this or set in place systems for people to abide by on the site, wouldn't you?
That's correct, yeah. We can help you, if you are a construction manager, we can help you devise rules to keep people safe, pass those rules forward in toolbox talks, so short 10-minute talks to the workforce, just so they know where they stand.
So that's a toolbox talk.
Talk, yeah.
So that's quite a good little name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quite like that.
The other one is where you can get accredited training, where those training standards have been passed and recognised by bodies. So if you're a forklift driver, you can get an RTITB standard, which is the Road Transport Training Board. If you're wearing harnesses, you can look at the iPath route or PASMA route for mobile towers. So there's all these specific names, and we've opted as a training centre to go for all these accreditations.
Right.
So our tutors are accredited, the courses we deliver are accredited. So they're universally recognised, from BP down the road, to British Sugar over in Selby. It covers the whole area.
Yeah. Because, well, a petrochemical site is like really high on the list of health and safety, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
So you would do, so if you had a big company then, you would do the specialist training for things like a forklift driver, a scaffolding work. So so each one of those needs some, because then it starts panning out into quite a big job, isn't it, really?
That's right, yeah.
So here's one for you, because I used to get this all the time working on the construction industry side, is that you've come on site and said, right, you must all wear toe protectors and you must all wear a hard hat, and then yourself, you walk around site and then somebody's not wearing the hard hat. So what happens if they don't wear the hard hat?
Right, that's people say, what do you do? And I say, well, I watch men work all day and nag them when they're doing it wrong. So one of my jobs, or one of the other people that work alongside with me, could be that safety policeman, and we're like, come on mate, why haven't you got your hard hat on? And, oh, well, I'm just, and you're like, well, you've got your electrician working up there. It might be a spanner that hits you, or it might be the actual electrician if somebody else has not followed the rules.
So if, let's say, you've told him to do that, you said, look mate, come on, wear the hard hat. He goes round the corner, spanner falls off, he gets injured. What happens then? Well,
you've got two forks. That particular guy may want to be the negligence claim, the ambulance chasers, the no win, no fee.
Yeah.
He isn't going to win because he didn't follow the rules on site.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, that guy could end up with an injury and get sacked because he didn't follow site rules.
Yeah.
And site rules are bound up in the law under health and safety.
I suppose as well, would I be right in saying that if you've got somebody who consistently breaks the rules of not wearing the hard hat, then you'd have to bring him in for individual training and get him to sound that off? That'd be a good way of doing it.
It's better to do that than sack them outright. Because at the end of the day, they're not learning.
Yeah.
A lot of my training, I always try and say, I don't want to teach granny to suck eggs. Come and let me have a look. I've got a whole stash. I call it safety porn. And when people send things around the internet, I get all the injuries.
Yeah.
I get elbows cut off and, mangled eyes and things. And I would rather show you something like that so you think, good point, rather than think, oh, what happened to me? Because I can be the nagging wife.
Yeah.
Nag, 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 nag. And people aren't going to listen. But if I can show you a picture of, that is the guy that I told not to wear a safety, put the safety hat on.
What you're trying to do there is you're trying to get people to work with you as opposed to be this all-encompassing health and safety boss. Because the thing is as well, I can remember, again, being in the construction industry, and people get on the health and safety way above themselves, don't they? I mean,
And you don't need arrogance in there.
No. You need to understand, and I think you're ticking the box there as far as that goes.